Hey guys, this is Miriam at High Life Auto. I am out doing a video test drive on a 2006 Honda Element. If you've never been on my video test drives before, the way it works is I drive the vehicle on video and I tell you what I see, hear, think, smell, and feel to give you the best indication of being in the driver's seat without actually being in the driver's seat. I'm not a mechanic and this is not meant to be a 182-point inspection. Rather, it's meant to be a sneak peek into how the vehicle drives and any potential issues I notice as we're going along. So we'll take a look around the vehicle, we'll take a look under the hood, and then we'll go for a drive. Okay, hood open. And here we go. Okay. Alright, so these are pretty cool vehicles. And I did not check the folder on this, so I don't know if there's any announcements. So check on my description to see if there's anything else that the auction told us about this that we need to know about. I know that it's got an exhaust noise, and I'll show you actually the exhaust is disconnected. And it needs to be reconnected. I don't know if Matt will get that done or not. I've got a whole list of things for him to do. But body condition on this, outside of, you know, just a little bit of cosmetic stuff, is pretty decent. So rust and dents and dings and stuff, we don't really have a whole lot. These tires are probably about 25-35% on the back, and then the same on the front. And I think the biggest thing right here is you've got this clear coat going on kind of all around the car, and then, you know, you've got all the dust and stuff from being backed by the trees, but other than that, it's really just kind of the clear coat going on over here. So here's one of the cool things about Elements is they've got the suicide doors, and then you've got the suicide doors, and then you can fit like a grown adult back there. Most back seats of cars, you can't really fit a grown adult. You can fit a grown adult back there, and then these seats, they fold up, and they also fold up to the side, and they hang up on the wall. I think I've got pictures of it. I think in the pictures it shows you that. So it's really kind of cool. It's a really unique configuration on how you can do this, and it's got the vinyl floorboards. So like, this is a good vehicle for animals, if you have animals, because you've got you know, like the dog hair and all of that stuff. You can do all of that. It's a really awesome, like, utility vehicle. Like, this is what utility vehicles were built to be. But you've got that sunroof back there. It's probably just a pop-up, not really a full open type thing. And then these back windows on the doors, they're just pop open, you know, not full open things. The seats from the front, they're kind of, you know, they've seen better days. But you could put some seat covers on them, and they would probably get back to, you know, somewhat of their former glory. All right, back here, I think this is probably the worst part, is just this back end. So you've got the clear coat, you've got a couple dents and dings in here. One of the other cool features about an Element is that it opens this way, and it opens like a truck bed. So you've got a full opening right there. You could tailgate on this. So it opens like a truck bed, and it opens like a hatch, however you want to do it. But then, so here's your biggest cosmetic problem, is right here. And they taped it. I think it could be a better job. I really probably do need to take a better look at that, and see if I could do something with that. But yeah, I think that's probably your worst part, is just that. And it leaves a little bit of grease on the things. But that's one of the cool things about the Element. It's just that it opens both ways. So there's that. I'm going to shut this. And I don't know if I got that all the way shut. So we might have, just because of that cosmetic thing, it might not be all the way shut. But yeah, your back end is definitely your worst part of this. But definitely it could be fixed up. On this side, same thing. As far as rust goes, there really isn't much, but you've got the clear coat stuff going on. Right here, you've got, that's probably a key scratch right there, and then your rust right there. Otherwise, again, it's just minor little things. Man, these bees are all over the place. They've been like attacking me for a week. All right, here is your little baby Honda motor. I did have to jump it, but that's very likely probably because of the that rear hatch being open. All right, inside we've got you've got that rear hatch light. You've got I think that's an airbag light, not a seatbelt light. So you've got okay, you've got an airbag light right over there. That one's a seatbelt light, and then over here you've got a check engine light. 245,000 miles on here, but the oil change has been kept up to date. You can see here it's due at 250,871. So it's been maintained, which is definitely a plus. I told you that check engine light was on. Here is your code right there. It's a 498 code, evap emission system vent valve control circuit. That's pretty much a fancy word for exhaust leak. And like I said, the exhaust is not the muffler, but the back end of the exhaust. It's kind of been rusted off, and it just needs welded back on. And it's just something that I need to add to Matt's list of things to do. So we'll do, let's see, our code. Like I said, I had to jump it. So every time you jump it, the radio code will come up. And I think I have the code inside, but I may not have it. I may not have it on me. Hey, but they did do some maintenance records in here, which is kind of cool. I haven't even seen these up until now, so I don't know how old this goes, but there's a book of maintenance records that's 328. I assume that's probably of 2006 and of 07. Okay, let's see how far we go. Okay, that's as far as we go. So we go to 07. Got a little bit of notes on there. Okay, so you got a couple notes. We don't have a radio code on here, but I've got one inside. Radio does work. So I will have to get that on there, and I'll put that in the car so that it's there. All right, radio does work though. I had it working last time I was in here. So air conditioning, I've got air conditioning on. It is not blowing super cold. So I'm going to say it probably needs a charge before next summer. I don't think you really need it much for the rest of this season. And let's try our heat just to make sure that it does blow hot, because that is something that you do need in the wintertime. Got the heat on. Let's change to, let's get all of these settings changed. When we're doing that, we'll check our windows. And I know the driver's side window does not go down. When you press on these buttons, you can hear the motor trying to work, but it doesn't go down. So I would imagine that the regulator is, the window's not on the regulator, and it's probably being held up. So probably your best bet is to just get a motor regulator combo. It's way cheaper that way if you get it online than buying them separate and doing the labor to detach them. But passenger side window, it does work. And then, like I said, those are all manual windows. So let's move my seat forward a hair so that I can reach the pedals comfortably. And I'm gonna go take it for a drive. And I know that this one has, it's just a weird, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, to be honest. It's a weird hesitation. And the best thing I know how to do is you kind of power through it. And I really don't even know how to explain it. The best thing to do is you have to drive it. But I'm doing this video test drive because then you can kind of see it. So right here, it just kind of kicked down, and it's a small little 2.4, so it's not even a very powerful motor, but it's driving up this hill, And it drives pretty smooth. I don't hear any suspension noise. Driver's window is a little bit noisy just because I think you've got some seals maybe missing or something. It's not super loud, but it's just a little bit noisier than it should be. Brakes are good and solid, no grinding or vibration. It's driving really well, actually. It didn't do the hesitation thing that it did last time I drove it. So I'm gonna kind of drive it a little bit longer. So I'm gonna do all my usual things. And then if you want to tune out, you're welcome to tune out. If you want to keep going, I'm going to keep driving it a little bit more and see if I can get it to do what it did before. And then if not, I'm going to kind of consider it a fluke and see what happens. So you can see here's my right turn signal. Got that on because I'm going to turn down this road so I can open it up and see what happens. All right, I've got my left turn signal on, and my windshield wipers, those are on. And fluid is either out or not working. I'm not sure which it is, but there's no fluid coming out. We'll check our cruise. See, set. See, right there in the middle, I think I've got the cruise control on. So right there, I've got my cruise on. So your basics on the car, I'm going to turn the cruise off so I can keep driving it. Basics on the car is it does run and drive pretty good. It's got a check engine light for an exhaust thing, which I'm hoping that if Matt gets it welded, that would fix that check engine light, but it may or it may not, because exhaust leaks are kind of sneaky little things. The tires aren't the greatest, so they probably need replaced before winter. Body's got a little bit of stuff going on with it. Right now the trunk ajar light is on. It's got an airbag light on. It's got some stuff on the body going on, but it seems to be driving pretty well. It's driving fairly smooth. It's shifting through all the gears the way it's supposed to. Accelerated well. Brakes are good and solid. I don't hear any suspension noise. So if you have any questions, my cell phone is 309-267-7200. And then if you want, you can go ahead and tune out. Otherwise, I'm going to keep driving it just a little bit longer and just see if we can get it to do anything. And I'll sign off in just a little bit longer. Right there. Okay, so if you're still with me, there is that thing, and I don't know what it is. I've kind of looked underneath it to just see if there's anything underneath it, but there's nothing that indicates what it is. You're driving it, and it'll just kind of hesitate a little bit, but if you power through it, then it just continue. Or not even if you power through it, if you drive it like a normal person instead of getting on it, it'll be just fine. There we go. So if I get on it, that's when it does it. So maybe it's fuel related. Like I'm trying to shove too much fuel in at one time, and it's just not ready for that. Because when I was driving driving it just on my regular normal video test drive, it was just fine. And then as I'm driving it a little bit more aggressively now, you can kind of, I don't know if you can hear that or not. It just kind of wants to hesitate. So if you drive it normal, if you drive it like you're taking care of it, it drives just fine. But if you want to drive it hard, if you're kind of hard on the gas, like a hot rodder, then you're probably gonna feel that that resistance, and then you can kind of decide, you know, you just power through it, and then you'll be, it goes right through it, and you'll be all right. Or you can just back it off, and it'll continue like normal. So I know that's not super helpful because I don't have any answers for you. So this is not really like a great option for someone who knows nothing about cars, simply because I don't know exactly what that is. I mean, it might be a fuel restriction type thing, might be exhaust restriction type thing, it might be, I don't think it's a suspension thing, because I remember getting underneath it and kind of feeling the suspension, and I didn't feel anything that was that felt loose or anything like that. So really, I don't know. That's my best answer. But here's the video. Do some Google research. Kind of take it as you will. I think we have it priced fairly cheap, because knowing that it does need some things, as far as it needs some tires, it needs some cosmetic stuff, and it needs some kind of repair somewhere. I just don't know where. So again, if you didn't catch it before, if you have any questions, my cell phone is 309-267-7200. Thanks, guys.